What? Who's Abigail? Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha at KGeekXX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to The Umbrella Academy. We're now on to episode 9, which is called 6 Bells. So the last episode was all around, well, I shouldn't say all, but for the most part around the wedding of Luther and Sloane. It was kind of supposed to be a happy occasion, and to some extent it was. It allowed both the families to, well, what's left of the Sparrows and the Umbrella Academy to kind of get together and somewhat focus on the things that are good in their family. We see that unfortunately Allison was just not ready to let go of a lot of her anger and her pain and resentment to really let herself enjoy the moment fully. But for the most part, everyone kind of partied and for a short while forgot that literally everything is ending. But the interesting things that came away from that episode was, one, we saw that their father was acting very differently than we've seen in previous seasons. It looked like he was taking Klaus's advice to heart to try to bond with the children and actually come to them at their level rather than trying to be a judgmental overlord like he always has, although it might be a little too late. We also saw that at the end, he seemed to be making a deal with somebody in the Buffalo Room, and it felt very much like a please save us or else sort of deal. And we saw that Five caught the end of that conversation, but he was so drunk that he didn't get to see who it was, or, you know, maybe he did see who it was, but from an audience perspective, we're not sure who he made that deal with. Hopefully we'll get a little more insight into who Dad was talking to in this episode. I think that was pretty much it. We really focused a lot more on the group. And I think one of the things I personally like is that it looks like unofficially the Sparrow version of Ben has kind of been welcomed into the Umbrella Academy because he really only has Sloane left. But now that Sloane's married to a Umbrella, I guess you could say by proxy, she's an Umbrella now too. So we've got our groups finally merged, and I kind of love the fact that we saw Ben and Klaus bonding the way that we used to see in the previous seasons. We'll have to see what happens. I'm really praying that he doesn't end up dead again somehow. Please, show don't do it to me again. I really love seeing alive Ben, even if he was a jerk for the majority of this season, I should say. So I'm ready to jump into the episode, but before I do, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. I do reactions here to shows like this, so if that is something that you're interested in and you like watching me, please think about hitting that subscribe button and joining the family, hitting that notification bell as well so you can be notified when I do more reactions. And if you like this video, I'd appreciate it so much if you showed some love to the like button as well and set some comments down below. The same goes for those of you who've been here before. Welcome back. Thank you for coming. Please join us on our march to 10K and join the fam today. All right, that out of the way, guys, let's get into the episode right about now.
Celebrating day 47 up here on the old gray lady. Health is good.
He is so positive all the time. I love Luther.
Oh, shit. Ow.
Tuesday is great. Wednesday to Thursday. I don't care about you. It's Friday. Seriously, this season's soundtrack is top tier. Sunday always. Whoa, dude, you're going through that soy paste a little too much. Guess you don't care. This is very truthful, though, because the isolation is what would get to Luther after a while. And anyone. We're not meant to be that alone constantly. 900. He was there for... I thought he was there for like a couple of years. This is so sad. Oh my God. Man in the Moon. Oh my God. That would have been a much better song for this. R.E.M's Man in the Moon, maybe? Okay, well, why was he restricted? That's the question. Not this whole station being here. The whole... Who's this? Abigail Hargreaves, deceased. What? Who's Abigail? Oh, his wife from season 1. And why wouldn't his... Oh, the kids don't know about her. How did she even get up there? You can't drop something like that and just walk away. Oh, hello, Ben. Hi.
My head is so loud.
How are you doing? We need more topless Ben scenes for science.
So much progress. With what?
With your Mr. Tough Guy routine. Last night, I remember. You opened your kimono to me. Remember?
Kimono, he's Korean.
You know, it wouldn't hurt to try to get to know him just a little bit better. You'd be surprised how much love he has to give. And also, he's got this whole plan to save the universe. Done. One and done.
I don't know about love, but he definitely has a little bit of hope.
Why?
How did you end up there? You passed out upstairs.
The guy's a monkey virgin from space. It's a hard match to make.
Damn.
We're all thinking about it. It's the elephant in the room here, buddy.
I mean, it's true, but you have to say it out loud. God, this is why there's such a dysfunctional family.
What was the old man up to?
Well, maybe you could have found out if you hadn't been stone drunk, my friend. But you've had a rough 30 days, so I'm going to let you have it.
Why are you here?
What does it look like? To feed you, child. I'm sure after last night's festivities, a hearty breakfast should bring you a bright start to your day.
Such a blur.
Right? Like, why are you being so nice to just Victor?
Jesus. He's due any minute now. That was
Jesus?
a joke. Actually, what I'm here to discuss
They're actually funny
is
jokes.
deadly serious.
So, you're the most powerful one. Let's get you to do something other than blow up the world for once. Can we do that? How about we start there? Because the old dad just kind of let Vanya just kill things regularly. So we're a brand new person now. Let's work with a more positive step forward with Victor, shall we?
Look, I just wanted to come by and say I'm sorry.
Does she mean it?
I see what this is.
Luther, he has a plan? No, a plan that he thinks can save the universe.
Really?
So please, come. Both of you.
No.
We'll be there.
Oh, first fight. I don't know if I trust this perky Allison. She was way too dark last night.
I really wish you wouldn't have done that.
How does it hurt to hear what he has to say?
I don't.
I mean, there's really nothing else to lose at this point, Luther. You're standing up at the wrong time.
I've seen worlds end in ways that would knock your socks off, old man.
Wow.
Worlds.
An old Hargreaves, you never cease to surprise me.
Listen.
But you'll never forget your first, your home, your original sin.
Oh my God, we are getting OG story.
My future self told me very explicitly not to save this world.
You are an arrogant son of a bitch, aren't you?
A little bit.
You ruined your life once before by not listening to me. Are you prepared to do that again?
Oh. Facts.
I would move if I were you.
What are you, threatening me?
No.
Shall we?
Y'all don't ask enough questions about your dad. Honestly, it's kind of crazy, but it shows how arrogant they are, actually. That they never just stop. Like, this man just told you he saw worlds, plural, end, and you just thought, okay, whatever, anyways, back to me. Like, come on, guys. And your dad's being vulnerable with you, something he has never been before. Come on.
But whoever or whatever wove together space and time, they left a way to put things back together if the universe ever faced total annihilation.
And it's in this hotel, in the room that no one ever comes back from.
We're supposed to what? Just stroll in there, ring some bells, and fix this shit?
Maybe.
Sarcasm aside, you are mostly right. Except for the Guardian.
Which I believe 2 of you have met.
Why would the builders of this back door need to have a guardian?
To protect it from people who want to use it for nefarious means.
That is correct, Sloan.
So I guess
See?
it's gonna take
Smart
all of us
one.
to defeat the thing that's protecting the bells.
You're actually buying his crap?
I mean, like, your whole world is a whole Grimm's tale. Come on.
No, this is much bigger than all of us. Nobody can stay back.
You, my children, are all that stands between us and oblivion. Are we ready to go?
You said 7 bells, but there's 9 of them.
The world is ending, and you want to count hands?
You're asking us to risk our lives. I think it's only fair you give us some time.
The world's ending! Oh, God, these simpletons.
If you wanted nice, you'd be with someone else.
Very true. Someone nice, sane, soft. You like all of her sharp edges and angles, and honestly, that's the only reason she's with you, because you're kind of dumb.
But if we go through the portal, we could save the universe. We could save everybody.
Or die
Can we
trying.
just put our past behind us and move forward together? Can you give me that?
I feel like because of the circumstances. I hope this is genuine. Yeah, I don't like this face.
Think about it. When has the old man ever been straight with us?
I don't know, he was pretty ruthless in our performance reviews.
He always gave
Right.
us good stars.
Really?
Look, I'm old enough to trust my
I mean, 5 was the top student. I mean, they're not wrong in the sense of like he's hiding the fact he's a whole thousands-year-old alien, but he clearly does not want this universe to die, or he would have left already. Because it sounds like he's got the means to leave. Or maybe he doesn't. Ooh, this is reminiscent of season 1, these different rooms in a house. What are you up to, Allison? Maybe you're the one who made the deal last night. You were one of the few that were actually sober. She only had 1 drink. I think it was Allison. That would explain her change of mood. But what would she make? What deal could her father have offered her that she'd want? Embrace it, Ben. You know you want it. So if they had a baby, would it look more like a monkey or like a baby?
I just can't shake the feeling that we don't know what we're getting ourselves into.
No. But we know what we've got if we don't.
Any more than dying?
A family.
Now?
Can't just keep throwing the word family around.
Yeah.
It isn't enough.
Yeah. You did a lot of damage over the last few weeks there, Al. Sorry, Allison. You might have been able to make that appeal work better if you hadn't been so destructive these last few days, but I understand why you were. But I do think you need to cry. You've been needing to cry for weeks.
Everything you ever wanted me to do, I did.
Get it out.
And I won't anymore.
Get it out.
Nor should you.
Enjoy the last few hours.
I hope that you can forgive me.
For yourself, really.
Will you forgive me, son?
Oh. You know you will. You're such a softie, Luther.
Yeah.
Oh, this is all Luther ever wanted. This is so sad, because I also feel like
wish your self-actualization could have come at a better time for the universe.
Right?
Wait, I don't understand.
I knew it was manipulation. Real dad.
The best way to bring a family together is at a wedding or a funeral. We tried the one. It's time for the other.
What is that? Is that out of his arm?
Slow. I know. Just as you found love, it is a terrible shame.
I love him. Wow. Sorry, Luther. I kind of knew it was a manipulation. I feel like there was some truth to it, but my man's a centuries-old alien. He doesn't have time for this.
5.
Like I said.
It's Allison.
What is?
I mean, you're all gonna die anyway, so I don't know why you're that upset.
No.
It must have been him. The Guardian.
She's right.
Oh, Dad set them up? You brilliant, psychotic bastard.
Children, what's going on? Oh, God.
I should be mad, but... Oh my God, look at her face. She knows what he did. I can't be mad. I'm sorry, because they're being so stupid. I can't. Oh. You were a great concierge. Just know that. 5 stars, my bud.
We can't live in the passage. We have to go now or we're gonna die, okay? Yes, we have to go. Come on.
Hurry.
Children, come on, please. Go.
Luther wanted to be here in the end.
You're just more trouble than you're worth. Sorry, Klaus. No, Dad!
Why? You want to bet they all have to die? And Klaus won't. That's the only reason I can think of why you wouldn't want Klaus. You're more trouble than you're worth. It's probably because somehow Klaus is going to survive this. Beautiful. Grab that horn. Quite literally, by the horns. He's gonna come back. Oh, maybe not. I don't think his ability sustains literal deatomization. Or does it? That was the fastest that cannot be the end. Wait, hold on. I gotta go. And why is it white? That was the shortest episode we've ever had, and it went by so quick. Holy crap. I was not prepared. Oh my gosh. I was like, we're gonna get, okay. Let me collect myself. Okay, guys, that was episode 9 of Umbrella Academy. And this is a lot of plot thickening for the second to last episode of the season. What to think? Predictions here. Okay, so I knew that Dad was not going to just sit back and let these kids let the world end. Like, there's just no way. Whoever their father is, he's been around for a long ass time, and he has clearly been putting, like he said, centuries of work into place to try to stop this from happening, which I have to think is this Project Oblivion that he's mentioning. It has to be, he knew this was going to happen, and maybe he's been trying to put things in place over a long period of time to maybe stop this from happening. But now here we are. And while he thought he was building his army of children, of superpowered children to stop it, as we saw in the first iteration of them, it didn't work. And then when he found out about that in the past, which was in last season, he did the Sparrow Academy thinking that that would be the right way, but then that turned out to not work. But now he's like, okay, the Kugelblitz is here, but all I have are these kids. So now what do I do? Right? And I thought, like, when he said that it's 7 people, because it said 6 bells. It said 6 bells is the name of the episode, but he was saying 7 in the show. And I was like, there's 9 of them. So someone's got to be, like, not everybody can go. Something's definitely got to have to change. So does that mean the 6 bells are 6 children plus him? Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to sound very discombobulated this review because I'm still very much processing what I saw. There was a lot in this episode, but let me kind of step through it before I come back to all my theories. The whole thing with Allison, yeah, totally dead giveaway that she made the deal with her father. As soon as I saw her being all hunky-dory the next day, I was like, Allison in her heart of hearts is the person that apologized to Victor. However, she was way too angry just the night before to come to that level of calm and forgiveness and peace and love and light. Like, that just wasn't going to happen in, like, whatever it was, like the 8 hours from when the wedding was to when they woke up that morning. Plus, as I said, she was not stone drunk the night before. She had a few drinks, but she was still very much sober when she decided to leave the wedding. So it makes sense. And I mean, she is in the mindset that she's got nothing to lose, right? In her mind, she never wanted to accept this being the end, right? Because even though she was saying a couple episodes ago that, oh, what difference does it make? We're going to go to a different future and it's going to be, or a different timeline, and we're going to make it worse. But Allison's not the type to just give up hope, right? That's never been her. And I know that somewhere in the back of her mind, deep down, she's still hoping there's a teeny tiny chance that if she gets to another timeline or gets another chance to time jump, she can at least get Claire back. And if not Claire back, she can get Ray back. Like, she's not ready to take this L. And I don't blame her. Like, life is about pushing through the L's for the next W, right? And so I think that she was the right person for her father to approach. And I think, like he said to Victor, that he witnessed the argument that went on the night before. And so he knew that, okay, Allison is probably the person that I can get through to out of all this group, because not that she has any more love or trust in him than any other of the kids, but she has nothing left to lose and she's desperate. And that's a great candidate for doing whatever it is you want them to do without a lot of questions. So makes sense that he would make that deal with Allison. Who knows what he told her? I'm not sure. My guess is that he told her that something extreme might have to happen, that if he can't get the kids to willingly go and do the mission, that he might have to go to drastic means. And she probably was at, because sadly, she's kind of at that place where she's like, they got to do what they got to do. I got to do what I got to do. If I got to leave some siblings behind, then so be it, right? Because we've seen this whole season, Allison's been kind of slowly stepping back from the idea of the family being a unit and thinking more about herself. And obviously that's not great and it's problematic. And I've said many episodes already now that I'm not happy with the way she's dealing with her grief, but it is understandable. And I'm feeling like just where she's at right now, she's thinking that this family hasn't really done anything in recent times to bring her any sense of joy or stability or safety. So she's to the point where she's like, I gotta do what I gotta do for myself. And it's not the right attitude. And I don't truly think that she feels that way. I just think, like, again, she's just so sick of losing. And she feels like, if this is the way that I gotta win, that's what I'm going to do. And so anyways, I understand why she made the deal. I don't think she thought that it was going to necessarily result in Luther dying. And I don't think she's okay with that. But as I said numerous times throughout the episode, it's like everyone there kept forgetting that the other option is death. And I feel like they were romanticizing it a bit. I think they were all just kind of like, oh yeah, well, accept the end. It's no big deal. But no one really, like, unless you're in a very depressed state, no one actually wants to die. Like, that's a very unnatural thing for us to do. Everything in our bodies, everything in our minds, our imperative biologically is to survive. So even though they thought they were okay with just, laying down, they really weren't. And we saw that, like, when the Kugelblitz came, like, it wasn't just Luther's death that did it. Let's be real. Like, it was the impetus they needed, but they all really wanted to do this mission, right? Deep down, none of them wanted to give up, at least not like this. And that's why I said, like, when he was saying, like, the other option is absolute, which is death. This one, yeah, you might die, but I'm like, wouldn't you rather die trying to fight than to just lay back and let it happen? Because that's just not what we do. So anyway, that's kind of dovetails right into the whole Luther situation. I already knew that Luther was going to forgive his dad. That's all he's ever wanted. Like, very interesting that they gave us a little bit more insight into what it was like for Luther in his moon time, because back in season 1, we honestly only saw him for a couple of scenes so that we knew where he was when his dad died. And that was pretty much it. But this is the episode where we got to see how lonely it was, how that loneliness turned into depression, how that depression turned into despair, how he was really at his lowest point. I mean, thankfully, he never completely gave in to said despair, but it was really hard on Luther. And that trauma from being isolated on top of basically being like dumped by the family, like that's a lot to deal with. And it makes you really understand why he's so desperate to hold on to the situation with Sloane. And interesting, we saw that the wife of the dad there, Miss what's her name? I can't remember her first name now, but the Hargreaves' mom, I was like, oh, she's not really mom, but his wife, that she's been on the moon since God knows what, on what looks like a whole space station. So, I mean, I was saying, like, how did it get there? But I keep forgetting that dad's an alien. So maybe he set that up long before he even came to Earth. But for what? Why is she there? Why is she frozen in time? Like, I have so many questions, but digressing. It was good to see more of what Luther went through so we can understand more of why he is the way he is. And honestly, it shows us the depths of the kindness and the genuinely sweet soul that he is, because he has every reason to hate his father and be very bitter towards his family. And he just doesn't. Like, he lets a lot of things go. And that's good for him, obviously. But that forgiveness for his dad was really better for him, honestly. Like, if they'd had a life beyond this, it would have been better for him to let that go, because it really was nothing he could control. And he was now with someone who loved him and who was going to stand by him. So letting go of that resentment and having any kind of relationship that he could with his father, which is something he did crave, all those kids crave it, let's be real, then that was better for him. And it was really sad that his dad knew that that was the manipulation point to use with Luther, especially after seeing him at the wedding and seeing the way that he responded. And yeah, like, I knew it as soon as he kind of got into the whole saying absolutely everything that Luther wanted to hear. I was like, oh, like, I do think a little bit of it is genuine, but it is definitely manipulation. I thought he was going to try to talk Luther into something. I did not think he was going to kill him straight up, but it is what it is. But you know what? It was the right call to make. Like, I know it sounds horrible. I should be more upset with the father, but I understand it. Like, if I thought the father was doing this maliciously, I would probably be like more like, that evil. But it's been so clear throughout the seasons that everything their dad does is very clinical and tactical. He is doing things for the sake of what he needs for the outcome. It's not about emotions or the right or wrong of, or the moral right or wrong of it. It's about results. And he knew that Luther is the heart of the Umbrella Academy. Like, everyone loves Luther because Luther's such a kind, lovable person. So to kill the heart, like, it worked, right? All of them who were all, oh, I don't know. Now it's like revenge. We got to do it. Like, they all wanted to, as I said before. I know deep down they all wanted to, but this was the kickstart they needed to actually do it. And we saw clearly Allison figured out what had happened almost right away. And I think she was feeling guilty when we saw her sitting in the corner there. And then we saw at the last minute that Five figured it out. But of course, there was no time to go through that because clearly, again, he doesn't really want to die. So seeing that the Kugelblitz was coming is like, you know what, we're going to go and we're going to fix this. So very interesting that going through that corridor, apparently the other side of the corridor is not being eaten by the Kugelblitz, which is interesting. But like they said, they got to take out this Guardian. We already know this Guardian has a sword, but it was against two people last time. We were not prepared. Hopefully with the combined powers of what we got left, because who do we have? We've got everybody but Klaus, which again, Klaus's powers, I guess, and that's the part, like, coming back to the end, But let me finish my thought. We got pretty much all the powers except for Klaus, which is a pretty good combination. Plus, whatever the hell the father is, we saw he's got some kind of a tentacle. I wonder if he's the same thing as whatever the Guardian is then. So it's a pretty good group on that side, plus 5 in his teleportation and time travel. So that's a pretty powerful group to go in there. It'll be interesting to see how they go. But then again, with Klaus, I feel like I don't think the dad just left him there for no reason. There has to be a reason he didn't think Klaus should go with them. And my guess is that Klaus is a backup plan because Klaus keeps coming back. Now, again, his whole body disintegrated. So I don't know about the regenerative powers of that, but I think Klaus is connected to whatever this other side is that they keep talking about. I can't think that the dad just abandoned him. There has to be something about his body or what he's able to do that his dad was either afraid of. Like I said, maybe he thought that Klaus regenerating on the other side would be a problem, or maybe the other side might getting a hold of him would be a problem. Or like I said, maybe he's a backup plan because he does come back or can come back or can find a way back. So lots of questions at the end of this episode, but wow, I thought that was really good. Like I said, it was one of the shorter episodes of the season, but it felt like it went by really quickly because we had so much kind of happen in a short time. But I enjoyed it thoroughly. I hope you guys enjoyed it along with me. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up, and we will see you in the next video.